Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, as the title suggests, Laura Spencer, the queen of bad decision making. First of all, I'm not calling her Collins. Okay, that's just what I'm not gonna do. Okay, she's not being called Collins, just like Liz is not being called Baldwin. Okay, she is forever going to be called Weber. That is it. Case closed. She is the queen of making some bad decisions. And we're going to sit there and talk about it. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. So stick around. Let's have some fun. Let's see what we got. Freddie's in the chat. How you doing tonight? Amy H is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Hope everyone had a great, lovely day. I was coming down with something yesterday, and I took Benadryl, and the symptoms got better, but then the drowsiness started. So that kind of sucks. Final says, even though do you still watch The Boy and the Beautiful? I do watch The Boy and the Beautiful finale. I do. Um, we're gonna talk about that tonight too. So I feel like I need to make an announcement that I still do watch some of this stuff, even though I don't always get a chance to review it. Um, I'm actually thinking about going back to reviewing The Boy and the Beautiful because it's just easier to do. As much as I love Days, sometimes Days is just kind of difficult to do, and it takes a little bit longer to do. B&B, I could just do that. So yes, to answer your question, I do Final Shadow. Francis in the chat, how you doing tonight? Hope everyone had a great day, as I said. We had some fun tonight. I felt like I haven't streamed in so long, even though it's been like one day. So starting off light, some soda. Blackmon, aka Mr. GQ, is in the chat. Hope everyone had a great day. Hope you had a great day. I had a good day. I made it through. I always feel like those 6 in the morning work shifts is like, I don't know, it's like penance, It's like penance or something. Freddie says I'm sticking around. I'm just gonna be listening. Okay, cool. Francis says, do you think Luna's dead? I don't think she is. Don't think she's miscarried. Here's the thing. The reason why I feel like she's dead, right? If they decide to bring her back, I'll be surprised. But the way they are trying to move on with this story, like, and they killed off the baby, so they want to make sure that they can just move forward with a clean slate. I'm doing good, Black Man. I survived today. I'm very happy. Sean, what's good, Sean? I'm like, I see you got a new name. You're still gonna be called 80 Sean to me. Um, but no, Francis, I feel like they just want to move forward with this Luna stuff. They seem like they just want to put that shit in the rearview mirror, and that's about it. And listen, the chick got her Emmy. No, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I want. Yeah, because it says Stinger. It says Stinger fan 30. So I'm like, okay. I mean, your picture still is saying that's how I knew who you were, but how do I change it? That's a really good question. I'll probably have to look it up at some point. I'll probably have to look it up. I know there's a way you can do it. I just don't know off the top of my head. I have to look it up. Oh shit, I forgot to email somebody. Somebody emailed me something, and I was at work, and then I just kind of focused on coming home and doing the videos and stuff and watching stuff. I'm ready for Luna to be going to. I feel like, listen, I feel like the show is ready for the Luna story to be done. For instance, I don't know, okay, and I got to tell the story a couple of times. I don't know if you watched The Young and the Restless, but you know who actually started getting into The Young and the Restless? My dad. Out of all the soap operas I could have recommended him, he started getting into The Young and the Restless. He was at a friend's house who she watches all the soap operas and stuff, and he was like, "Yo, what happened to the wedding today? I was waiting because he's liking the whole LA stuff. He's like, yo, what happened to the people that was trapped in the room? I was like, yeah, it's gonna come. So that was surprising. But yeah, hmm, just don't know. But I don't even know what today's episode was supposed to be about. The wedding was, yeah, I didn't really care for the wedding. I did not care one iota. Uh, no. It still says Stinger fan 30. Well, like I said, if you don't if you don't figure out tonight, I'll look it up and see how to change it. I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's hard to change it. I don't know how you changed it the first time. Oh, I mean, you have a profile thing. It's the pen. So when you go to your face profile, I don't know if you can see it, but like when you go to your face profile and it says like the picture and then your name on the right hand side, I think it's going to be like a pen button. It's literally going to be like a drawing of a pen. You just click on that. Yeah, you just click on that. I'm sorry, the glare is kind of bad, so you can't see it, but yeah, the wedding was not great. Let's be honest, the wedding was not great. But like I said, he's liking the whole LA stuff with Noah and Mitch or Matt or whatever the hell you want to call him, and he's liking that stuff. Surprisingly, so I was surprised. I mean, my dad used to he used to watch All My Children, but his show he used to like All My Children. I give up. Yeah, it's I mean, you can just keep that name, but it's like I can't show it to you because the glare, but like there's a pin button. I mean there's a drawing of a pin on should be on your right hand side of your profile, and you just click on that, and you can change your name there. So, but Laura, listen, Laura has been doing, for me personally, Laura has been doing stupid shit for a long time. Like she's been doing dumb shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Francis. And then all they did was sit there and stand up to Kane. And I kind of was like, let's be honest. Chance and Damien did not have a gun put to their heads to go to Nice. Okay. So while they want to sit there and blame them for their son's death, I'm like, no one put a gun to their heads. No one sat there and said you had to go. And in all reality, it wasn't even Kane that sat there. It was his assistant. So I'm like, you know what, I was like, part of me is like, y'all two women can sit there and miss me with that. Yeah, it's not hard. I just figured it out just now, Sean. Um, but yeah, doing when you can. And yes, that is very out of pocket. Like, and that's the thing. It's like they didn't care about the characters enough to even bother to do a death scene. Like, they did a shitty death scene for Heather. I mean, a funeral scene for Heather. And I think they mostly did that because the character was on there for a while. But they didn't even do one for Cole. They didn't even do a funeral for Cole. Yo, these CBS soaps and the way that they run sometimes, and like how they do their stories It's just hilarious. It really is. It's just hilarious. She's out of line with how? You mean with you mean Sunny? You mean Laura having Sunny help her out? That's I'm not gonna say anything. But listen, she's been out of pocket since she decided to spend time with Cyrus. Since she agreed to try to give her relationship with Cyrus a chance, knowing what Cyrus did to Lulu. Oh, Britt and Jason. Wait, I was I was okay. How was Britt out of line? If you don't mind me asking. I mean, I don't know if you're just venting or whatever, but like, I, listen, I'll set this in my review, and I'll sit there and say it's here. That was a. She literally sat there and said, "Hey, listen, if I tell you this, I'm putting my life on the line. I want to be able to trust you. I want you. I want to be able to sit there and come in first." Yeah, she was like, she needs him to come first. And what happens? Sonny calls, snaps his fingers, and he runs over there. This is something that's always has bothered me about Jason. Jason will sit there and put Sonny and Carly above everything else. Above his own relationship with Sam, above his children. Okay, he treats Michael more of a son than his own kids. It's something that's always been out of pocket. I'm like, in all reality, why would Britt want to sit there and be with Jason? So when Sonny or Carly sits there and snaps their fingers, he'll start running to them? He's like, hey, listen, I'm putting my life on the line. I need to be able to trust you. I need to be able to trust you. I need you to sit there and come through for me and not just, oh, um, not just have you, follow up Sonny's ass every time he sits there and snaps his fingers. So I was like, bro, you trash for that, bro. You trash. Fucking trash. That's the bottom line. I mean, that's just my humble opinion, but like, I don't, I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all. But what do we got? Oh, I'm like, so yeah, Laura's not there. I was like, first of all, I don't know why Nate got there. Why was Nathan there? She called Sonny, so what? Nathan just showed up out of nowhere. Like, did they call Nathan? Like, I'm like, you you should have just called the damn cops. You calling Sonny to sit there and clean up a mess, like everything that people have been sitting there saying about you protecting Sonny, and you're in Sonny's pocket and everything like that. And the minute there's a dead body, instead of you calling the cops or anything like that and calling Alexis afterwards, you just decide to call Sonny. Like I said, queen of bad decision making. So you got that going on. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really care about the scene, about the what scene? The Molly, Christina, Jacinda, and Cody scene. I did not care about that whatsoever. I mean, I know the show needs romance and blah 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 blah, but it seemed like it just went nowhere. What he wound up doing was dancing. I guess that was supposed to be romantic or whatever, but I'm just like, eh. Let's see how the sound is. Let's see how the sound is. Yeah, it sounds alright. Yeah, it sounds alright. But oh, and if I repeat myself when other people come in and ask me questions, that's because Brit, no, not Brit. Geo calling Brooklyn mom out of nowhere, like that shit was like that literally came out of nowhere. I mean, listen, I have not been liking the whole snail pace thing with Geo trying to warm up to Brooklyn and Dante, or in this case, Brooklyn, because I'm like, after Monica's death, I'm like, you should have probably like start to see that you don't have as much time that you thought that you did, and maybe start to be like, okay, let's try to do something. Let me reach out or whatever, right? So I wasn't liking the pace of where it was going because I felt like it was going too slow. Now out of nowhere, Gorgeous Queen Janet, GH and Bo were very good this week. Bold was hilarious. And you know what's funny, Janet? I was not there thinking about maybe switching back to doing Bo and the Beautiful reviews. As much as I want to continue to do the days reviews, I feel like they're so it's long. So I don't know. I might switch back to doing B&B. But look, yo, I'm not gonna lie, that shit was hilarious. So they're all sitting there chasing this chick in the dark with their cell phone flashlights. I'm thinking, okay, somebody's gonna get hurt. Either it's gonna be Ivy, or it's gonna be Katie, or it's gonna be It's gonna be somebody. Somebody's gonna sit there and get hurt, right? Because this chick is dangerous. We're sitting there thinking, most people thought it's like, okay, well, Katie's gonna sit there and be killed off or get hurt or whatever. They did all that shit. They did all that shit for Luna to get hit by a car. Like, I swear, yo, listen, and I said this before, the way that CBS do their storytelling is just ridiculous at times. It is absolutely ridiculous at times. Like, this shit just makes no damn sense. Like, and I said, she just gets hit by a car. The end. And Poppy just being like, well, like she's pretty much glad that her daughter's dead and her daughter was dead to her a long time ago. People in the room sitting there looking at her like, okay. And Finn still being a piece of shit that he is, and basically being like, yeah, well, it's about, I'm all about you, Steffi. I'm all about you and the kids. And I'm like, listen, I get that's supposed to be a woman's fantasy and shit, but like, what father worth their salt would sit there and put their wife above their own damn kid? Like seriously, imagine if they showed a woman that they're doing that, putting their husband before their kids. That'd just be so out of pocket. But it's CBS, so Well, actually, to tell you the truth, no, it's more of a woman's fantasy if we're gonna be honest. Yeah, that whole thing was just hilarious. Um, Also, I'm just like, Ivory, what do you plan on doing when you find her? Or Taylor? What do you plan on doing? You plan on lecturing her? You plan on giving her a therapy session? Like, she was like, oh, I'm gonna sit there and stop her once and for all. I was like, how? With your pretty words? Like, what do you plan on? I don't know. I found this so like, it was so silly, even for a soap opera. I'm like, I almost feel bad for I feel bad for the B&B fans. 'Cause I really do feel like y'all deserve better than what y'all get. I do. I feel like y'all deserve way better than what y'all get. Cause what y'all get sometimes is is very, very, very questionable. What's good, Amber? It's very questionable at best. Hmm. That's good. That's good. Okay, that seems like that's gonna be a rough one. Um, but yeah, Bo was something. Sean says they're making sure the vets carry GH, carry it into the ground. But yeah, Danny Bear 87 was good. What do you think about Laura, the future mayor, um, reaching out to Sonny to help with a dead body? That's a really good start to her campaign run. Is having the mob king sit there and clean up Laura's mess as opposed to Laura being like, hey, you know, it'd be a really good idea. Maybe I should call the cops. I told Laura, I told Laura to call Sonny. I was like, maybe it'd be a good idea. Just you know. Jenna said thoughts on Jeannie Francis acting today, and what about Britt? Her acting was, first of all, her freaking out like when she yelled and screamed at as far as the seeing a dead body. I thought it was laughable. Like her freakouts, it would look hilarious if she was in an actual horror movie. Um, I was cool with Brett. I thought that Jason was trash, personally. Jason once again picking Sonny over whatever romantic lead that he's with to be up Sonny's ass. Like Danny says, I saw your review. I thought it was a beautiful moment with Gio calling Brooklyn mom. I well, first of all, thank you, Danny B. I appreciate that. I kind of thought they jumped the shark, but um, I knew some people enjoyed it, and I'm glad people did. I think I was just more like it felt like whiplash. It felt like whiplash. He went from like icing him out for like months when he found out, and then during the conversation, he was like, "Oh, it's kind of like when you decide to sit there and give me up, when I was a baby." And I'm like, we're, it was like we're really doing that. Like, we just took like we seemed like we were having a good conversation. We just took like we took like 3 steps back. And then at the end of the day, then at the end of it, he was like, okay, mom. And I'm like, Broski literally said 2 weeks ago or a couple weeks ago that Brooklyn is not going to replace my mother, which no one was sitting there saying that's what she was trying to do. So you went from the defensive of she's never going to replace my mom. Thank you, mom. uh, you know, listen, again, compared to the CBS shows and how they do their stuff sometimes, Jason will find out. You mean find out what? I mean, here's the thing. He knew. He confronted Britt. He was like, I know that you're working with Dalton. I know that you're working with Dalton. You seem like you're in trouble. When they talked about, when he asked her, well, the dead body probably, yeah. Danny and the Bugs wedding was funny. Dolomedics. You know what's really funny, Danny Bear? My my dad's friend is getting my dad my dad's friend is getting him into watching The Young and Restless. Um yeah, she's getting my dad into watching The Young and Restless. Like it's crazy. Um he called me today. He was like, what's going on with this wedding? What happened to the people that was trapped in the room yesterday, whatever. I was like, oh wow. Because he went to he does she not love him? But yeah, she's getting my dad. And here's the thing. Again, out of all the soap operas I could have recommended my dad to watch, I did not see him, kind of liking the Young and the Restless. I was like, okay, all right. I'm gonna tell him to watch Tuesday's episode because they're doing part two of Danny and Christine's wedding, and I'm like, I'm not gonna. I mean, he goes over there to hang out with my friend, and I mean, he goes over there to hang out with his friend, and she's watching a lot of the CBS soaps. He watches it with her. Um, so it's not like he's gonna be able to like skip it or anything like that. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing though, Dominic. I was surprised my dad, again, he was getting into, I mean, he said back in the day, he used to watch All My Children, in General Hospital. No, General Hospital was a show, you know, but he's like All My Children. So I guess in that way, nothing like bonding over a soap opera. Yeah, I mean, he goes over there, he hangs out with his friend, and so what soap would you recommend your, uh, General Hospital? I don't even have to think about that one, General Hospital. Yeah, I would always sit there and say General Hospital. My second soap opera to recommend anyone will be Days of Our Lives. Days of Our Lives would be the second one. General Hospital will always be the first. Like, point blank period. General is GH is too complicated for regular. I feel like it moves in a good enough modern pace, right? Like the LA stuff is really good right now. But Young and the Restless is not, you know. Gomek says it's always funny when you find out that the older relatives watch soaps. It's funny when they react to characters. Yeah, he was mad that they weren't there showing the LA stuff today. I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be back on Monday or Tuesday. He was like, see, that's that bullshit right there. I was like, wow, you seem like you're kind of invested. I was like, you seem like you're kind of invested, Dad. Okay, okay, all right. I mean, it's come back on. I'm a little kind of annoyed because like now when he's getting into it, they decide to show 2 goddamn days of Danny and Christine. You know, and of course it's 2 days because they did that Brooklyn and Chase wedding for like 2 or 3 days, which was the dumbest shit. I didn't even review that shit. I was like, nah. I was like, nope, I'm not reviewing it. And people was like, oh my god, it was so wholesome. Good, you watch it. I'm fast forwarding through that shit, but hey, listen. Dominic says my grandma always finds it funny that Julie is still. What am I doing? Just use this. My grandma always finds it funny that Julie is still doing stuff, but she remembers when she was a troublemaker. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, my dad hasn't watched soap operas in years, right? And so for him to sit there and pick up and talk about like, because that's the thing. I'm pretty sure my dad was at his friend's house for a while, so I know that he saw The Bold and the Beautiful, and he probably saw a little bit of Beyond the Gates. Um, and out of all three of them, he only talked about The Young and the Restless, so I find that to be pretty funny. I mean, to be fair, out of three of them, out of Bold, Beyond the Gates, and Young and the Restless, I would always pick The Young and the Restless as like my third favorite show. My third favorite show would be Young and the Restless. B&B was stupid funny. Born and Beautiful was stupid funny. Like I said, having them run, having them run, nothing happened on Beyond the Gates. Like nothing, absolutely nothing at all. It hurts my brain. It, hmm, I'm not gonna sit there and say that, but it just, see, I can't use that humor. I mean, I don't know what else to sit there and call it. I feel like you had half of the damn town, what's good, Queen of the South? It seemed like you had half of the damn town sitting there going after, um, Luna at night, in the dark, with flashlights. No, I'm not gonna sit there and say it, but the point is, I wonder how much did I actually have? Oh my, wow, I actually had a lot more than I thought. Finn didn't even go to hell. Finn didn't go to hell. Finn didn't do shit. And then afterwards, again, he was like, um, I don't know how to sit there and feel about the death of my daughter, but, you know, I'm always gonna sit there and protect you and the kids. I'm like, bro, your daughter just died, and all you sit there thinking about is, oh, I gotta sit there and protect Stephanie. I gotta be there for Stephanie. I gotta make Stephanie my priority. I'm like, part of me was like, what kind of fantasy land? But I'm like, the soap opera is a fantasy, so I can't sit there and knock them too much. Not too much, but like, I think Luna's still alive. Nobody, you know, that's usually what I always feel was good or something. But the thing is, Danny Bear, think about how fast they did it. Think about how fast they got rid of Luna. The actress just won her Emmy, and then right after she does a couple more scenes and she's gone. If you saw the previews, they look like they want to move on as fast as fuck from that storyline. Like the baby just was gone, like just like that. So there was no tie to really kind of keep her on the show. What's good, GH fan? That's cool. Um, but I'm like, why do I even have these things in my ears for? They're not even working. But make sure there's a good soundtrack. Good. Let me see if Allison is in this chat. What's good, Eagle Fang? Britt, Britt wants Jason to give her everything. He gave her a home. He saved her life. He gave her a sports car. He gave her a friend, even though she does not deserve it. But I'm not one. Get out. Eagle, I'm liking it. It's actually really funny, Eagle, and I was telling this story earlier. Wagner is actually getting so good that my dad is actually getting into watching it. Like my dad is actually kind of liking The Young and Restless, the LA story and stuff like that. He's actually liking it. Like I am surprised by that. Because he goes over at his friend's house and she watches all the soaps and stuff, and he was actually getting entertained by watching the Young and the Restless stuff. He didn't really care for the wedding today. He kind of wants it to go back to like the whole Matt Clark and Noah being trapped and stuff like that. That's what he's liking. Can I just ask you a question, GH fan? And I'm not gonna really sit there and try to get into a back and forth thing. Um, but let me ask you a question. Do you just like generally hate anyone that is against Michael or Michael's interests? So like anyone that has a grudge or anyone that dislikes Michael or whatever, you just automatically hate? Eagle says, so when are the people of Salem going to see that they have two demon spawn girls on that show? One of them locked in a loony bin and the other one poisoned sour. Yo, that this is why I get so torn between watching like reviewing Days and reviewing um B&B. Because B&B would just give you nothing sometimes. But like when I don't review B&B, people don't think that I watch it, and I do. Pretty much own it because usually their dislike for Michael is unwanted or fair. Okay. That's cool. I mean, not really, but that's your thing. So, yeah, I didn't really care. I didn't really care for the wedding. And the sad thing is that it's going to be 2 damn days of that. You can sum up B&B in one video at the end of the month. Yeah, I wanted to partly do Days of Our Lives review because first of all, well, Rachel done lost her damn mind. What's good, Jay Blue? Does anyone who is innocent, poor Charles, default to lie to save themselves seriously? Um. Oh, nice. Okay, I gotta check it out. I wonder if I could. Yes, GH fan, I am because he wants to sit there and save. He wants to sit there and save Willow. He wants to sit there and save Willow. That's his friend. He feels like his friend is getting set up. He feels like Michael did it, and he feels like she didn't. She didn't do it, and he's a loyal friend, so I can respect that. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, nice. Okay, all right. That's what's up. I gotta save this in my. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. Chase is definitely doing some acidine shit because Alexis is sitting there saying like even his thing. Alexis is like even if you do prove, even if you prove that Mike was lying about the alibi, which let's be honest, he is lying about an alibi. We're not gonna sit there and try to act like he's not lying. Um, it's not a slam dunk for Willow's case. And you can wind up losing your job even if you get Azure on the stand and you prove that like his alibi isn't real. So he seems like he doesn't care, but the last time he lost his badge, he was all mopey and shit. So I'm like, Brooklyn is not there telling you not to do this. Alexis is not there telling you not to do this. And Chase is like, I'm just gonna do what I want. I'm like, okay, bro, do what you want. But I mean, let's be honest, JH fan, he's lying. Michael is lying. I know that, you're not gonna be able to see it because, it's the I love Michael and everything like that, but he is lying about the alibi and he knows it. So Anyway, and here's what I said. Here's what I said yesterday. Willow was, sitting there saying to Alexis about Michael and being like, "I can't believe you exposed our son to a sex worker." I'm like, as opposed to exposing him to a baby kidnapper, which is Nina, by the way. I'm like, Nina's a baby kidnapper, and you're cool with your son being around Grandma Nina. Like, seriously. And honestly, tell you the truth, you're also a baby kidnapper. It's not they're kidnapping Sasha's baby and it's not they're gaslighting her, but you have the audacity of exactly you have the audacity to sit there and judge somebody else. Like, girl, no, that's what we're not gonna be doing. We're not gonna be sitting there judging a sex worker when you are a damn baby kidnapper, just like your deranged ass mother. Nah, boo, we ain't doing that. Okay. Yeah, that seems about right. So, you know, she's a baby kidnapper. Oh, GH addictive. Wow, okay, we got GH fan and GH addictive. That's interesting. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's still more. I think it's time. But like I said, I respect Chase for his loyalty towards towards his ex fiance, ex girlfriend. I feel bad that GH hired picked Sitwell to be the main villain, boss over Selena Boone. It's interesting, Eagle. Um, I listen. I like Selena Wu, and it's you know I don't know what's going on behind the scenes with that whole thing, but I do sit there and feel that Sitwell is a credible villain though. He got rid of Dalton. He didn't sit there and dilly dally. What the He's loyal to his friends, and that's what counts. That's what counts in my book. I know you don't like Willow, but it is what it is. Um, J Blue says I'm still watching JJ Laura facial expressing that. Eagle said, "Did you cover the story of the pregnant woman and her son that got beat up?" No, but I heard about it. It was messed up. It was messed up. If I get a chance to do it, I'm back as Sean. No, it's not back as Sean still. Yeah, no, no, I heard about it, Eagle. Actually, I saw the video. They were bullying the kid and everything like that. It was pretty messed up. It was pretty messed up. And then the rapper, are you thinking about watching Wicked? No, Final. I'm not really into musicals, so What's good, last day? It's all is Sean. Thank you. What the? Okay, let's see how that is now. Sorry about that. Well, okay, let's see how that is now. That was fucking weird. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, you're a little traumatized, but yeah. Yeah, and, the rapper, he went to fly them out and, buy them dinner and, take them shopping and stuff like that. Here's the thing. I understood where Dante was coming from. I did. Dante was harsh. Okay, Dante was harsh. But, listen, when you look at it from Dante's side, this is the second time. Whew, okay, this is the second time that Gio has used Queen Jazz. What's good, Jazz? This is the second time that Gio has used very poor judgment skills. Lastly, he says BNB is so horrible. Stephanie and Finn are the worst couple in soap history. They are so boring as a couple. Is that a couple do be boring? All right, have a good night, GH fan. It's surprising. I was gonna sit there and I was gonna wait till Jess came in so I could sit there and show y'all. Oh, fuck me sideways. I'll show you this before I have to switch back since my computer decides now it wants to sit there and fucking um you know update. But before it does that, I have to go back to my what you call it. I'm gonna sit there and replay the clip that I found be very, very interesting. And I think you're gonna know what it is as soon as I get it. Will let will Electra are more boring than this. Yeah. I was watching it today and I was like, this is a good clip to sit there and show the chat. Because I find it funny. And I'm gonna be a dick after this, but whatever.
Willow is an excellent mother and a better person than you will ever be.
Willow is so blind she can't see how Drew influences her every breath. And even if she could see it, she's too gutless to do anything about it except cry and blame everybody for everything that's happened in her life. And she can't even see how this relationship is hurting her kids. And for all we know, Drew is going to move Willow and those kids to DC permanently.
I've never heard either of them say anything like
because
that.
He wouldn't say it in front of you. Drew is going to do everything in his power to keep those kids away from Michael and his family. And Willow, my God, she's just going to blindly follow him, doing whatever she wants, not even noticing that it's hurting the children. She doesn't deserve those kids, and she doesn't deserve to be a mother. Don't you tell me! Don't you tell her! You sanctimonious bitch! God, get off of me! What the hell is going?
Oh, that ass whooping. Oh my god. Oof. I felt bad for Carly that day.
That chick got an ass whooping by Nina Reeves out of all people. How pathetic. Uh, that was good. Shouldn't have recruited the teens, but teens are responsible for their own actions. When it comes to criminal behavior, they do know the difference between right and wrong. That's what I've been saying this. That's what Lulu said. Josh saved her money. Yeah, Josh saved her mom from that ass whooping. Okay? Just as Cynthia Wachos or reacted, it was so bad. Nina whooped Carly's ass. Oh my goodness, that was so great. I can take that off now. That was so great. She caught a fade on the mean street. Yeah, exactly. Carly loves to sit there and run around acting like she's Miss Badass and everything. Right? And when she got that ass whooping, it wasn't fun anymore. Like, come on, Nina. I thought we were having a good time. I mean, come on, Carly. You're supposed to be Mrs. Badass and everything. Like, what happened? Anyway, um, I don't know what the hell Beyond the Gates is doing. I don't know. I don't know what Beyond the Gates is actually doing at this point. Like, I really don't. And the sad thing is, like, I'm pretty sure everybody babies Rocco. Yeah. It, like I said, today's episode and I'll say this again, when um when Gio called Brooklyn mom, I was like, it's like it was his choice. Nobody forced him. Emma actually told his ass not to do it. Emma was like, "No, we're not doing this. Ned is in the hospital, so we just gonna have to call it off and do it another night." And you have those three dumbasses talking about, "No, we should still sit there and do it." I'm like, again, surprisingly, Lulu was the one that was like, "Nah, Dante, we can't put all this on Gio." Like, she wasn't happy that Gio and Emma, roped them along, but like, Rocco's been making bad choices since he knew about Charlotte being on the run with Valentine months ago. Right? Like, and latest is him sitting hanging out with Britt and Liesel. Exactly, they keep acting like a baby, but he's just as dumb as the other kids. Rocco's a Spencer and a Corinthos, of course. He makes bad decisions. Lastly, it says the previews for B&B, the Thanksgiving food looks gross. I'm Steffi and Finn will say I love you 900 more times, need it, and then cry about Luna. Yeah, everybody's not there doing their Thanksgiving stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure GH is gonna do something. GH is gonna do something. Um, just says I was all for him staying in jail. Good, learn your lesson, but in real life, this case would have never made it that far. No, no, GH is not. I don't think that GH is going to be on Thanksgiving. The show because they would do the shelter. Yeah, I remember them showing that. I remember them showing like classic scenes of that. Um, this is when Eric was, or the actor, John something was a lot younger. Yep, only days is gonna be on Thursday. Yep, that is correct. I will wake up super early, watch it. I don't know if I actually want to do a review though. I just feel like it's just so damn. It's been so damn difficult to sit there and try to do any other review besides GH. So I just don't like. What's good, Jonathan? That's a good question. I don't think we ever went sit. Like I said, I feel that when nights are you streaming other than Thursday? Oh, that's a good question because I won't be streaming Thursday. It'll be Thanksgiving. So I'll stream Wednesday and then I'll stream Friday. Yeah, Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday and Friday. Yeah, I had to think about that. I was like, oh shit, Thanksgiving to Thursday. Yeah, yeah. A little. See, here's my thing with Rachel, and I don't even have to call her Little Rachel. They only show one Rachel at this point. Um, Kristen and Marlena fail Rachel because in all reality, if they would have did something with her, if they would have, yeah, no, and that's the thing though, like people know that you're Sean because of the icon. Well, like I said, that's how I was able to know. That's how I was able to find out. But yeah, but I mean, I will be streaming tomorrow. I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'll be streaming Sunday. So is Brady for ignoring her behavior? She's not acting like a normal girl. She's never acted like a normal girl. If we're gonna be honest. And granted, here's the thing. I didn't like initially how she was talking to Sarah. When Sarah was like, how are you doing? And she snapped at her, right? But the thing is, when she sat there and she confronted her about, yeah, I do too. I do too, Sean. It's they're really fun. They're really fun. Um, Mine just where I'm Allison, but it says, oh, you're fucking Allison. Okay. Nah, they be fun. The weekend streams are fun. It's very interesting going through um classic soap opera history. But no, when she confronted her and she was like, "You stole me when I was a baby, right?" And Brady was like, "How do you know about that?" And Rachel pretty much like, "No, the better question is, how come you didn't tell me?" And I'm like, "She got a point." She got a point. Yeah, it's been fun. So thank you for being a part of it, Sean. He was like, "How come?" He's like, "How come you didn't tell me?" I didn't really see a lot. What's funny? I didn't see a lot of Drew and Ryan Lavery's character, but like I saw a lot of Cameron Madison in a sense, like Ryan is not he's not deplorable like Drew, but like he he had his moments where he could be a dick. Like he did. He had his moments he can always be a damn psycho. Ryan is the opposite of Drew. No, well, yes, in a lot of ways. But you notice that the acting, like the way he acts and stuff like that, like there's a lot of there's a lot of personality traits that the way he acts, the way he delivers his lines, and some of the stuff that he it's hard to sit there and put into words. But like, if Drew, here's the thing: if Drew wasn't being such an asshole, and he was just being whatever, it's because I feel like he puts in a certain level of his personality, or the way that he would play. Like if he was Drew, how would he be an asshole in that sense? Just as we still don't know where Anna's at. Last says Ryan Lavish, the character, was a lot better than Drew, but then again, a piece of shit is better than Drew. Can't really say why I was great to that. It wasn't. But again, here's the thing, Jonathan, I've said this before. I'll say this again. You know, surprisingly, my dad's been liking a lot of the Y&R stuff, particularly the LA stuff. See, he goes over his friend's house who watches like the CBS soaps. So he's been enjoying the LA stuff. You know, the whole Noah and Mitch and Nick and stuff like that. He's been actually enjoying that stuff. Yeah, exactly, Albert Senior. So like, you know, he called me today. He was like, what happened to the people in the room and stuff like that? I was like, yeah, they're not gonna be showing that till like Monday or Tuesday. Now I gotta sit there and tell him tomorrow. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be Tuesday. He was not happy about that. And again, I sat there and I said to myself, I was like, out of all the soap operas I could have recommended my dad, The Young and the Restless would never have been one of them. But the LA stuff has been good. Hell, like I said, I had to sit there and pull a Tommy and was like, yo, Jess. Like, Jess, if you know, if you had some time and you know, you didn't feel like watching whatever slop that Beyond the Gates is not their dish now, you might want to check it out. Like on Tuesday. Seriously, on Tuesday. Like it was surprisingly good. I know. I'm sorry, Jess, but you know, one, you know, I got to sit there and get you some free coffee, but I mean, two, I can actually sit there and say it's actually pretty good right now. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but like I think if you want to sit there and check it out, I think now you're done. Like I said, my dad was even sitting there watching like, oh, this isn't really bad. I'm like, but he used to watch soaps though. He used to watch All My Children and General Hospital. Which show would you recommend? I hope it's not being big. Well, I would. Here's the thing. Last day, I would always I would always sit there and recommend Days as my second soap opera to sit there and watch. But The Young and the Restless, like I said, has been good this week. Like Young and Restless has been well, except for this wedding shit. But The Young and the Restless has actually been holding his own against GH, which I'm like, that's some shit that I would have never sat there and said, like ever. Johnson says, do you think Brady would take back what he said to Kristen when he went to prison? When she went to prison? I think that he would, but at the same time, he wouldn't fully be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake." Because let's be honest, and I've said this, Kristen has been a bad influence on Rachel. A lot of the stuff that Rachel has done has mimicked, what do you call it? Have a good night, Sean. Yeah, I know how early those early morning shifts are. Last day says I tried to get back into YNR and I watched the Halloween episode and I thought to myself, is why is Claire having blank with a black Oopa Loopa? YNR is the best CBS soap. Granted, low bar. So you wouldn't recommend The Bold and the Beautiful because I know I wouldn't. I Here's the thing. I recommend I would recommend B&B in a sense because it's not as much time. Like if you're a person that just wants to sit down and watch something fast and easy, I would sit there and say B&B. But if you want to watch something that is going to take a little bit, but you would, generally kind of like it a little bit better, I would sit there and say, why not? Johnson says, what do you think will happen to Rachel after she's in the hospital? Listen, I was more surprised that she was actually in the hospital, like in the bed and shit. Because I'm like, girl, you sat there and you poisoned Sarah. You sat there and you poisoned Sarah. Okay, so I said this before. Kristen, EJ, and Marlena failed her. If she would have took some sort of responsibility for her shooting EJ, then she would have had an opportunity to sit there and nearly try to knock out Kat with a goddamn pumpkin and poison Sarah. She Rachel has been getting away with shit for so long to a point where you're just like, so we're just not gonna do anything about this little badass girl, right? Like we just gonna act like this is just fucking normal. Her trying to take people out with pumpkins, and now she poisoned Sarah with an allergic reaction. All British that they're doing is, what did you do to her? What did you do to her? I'm like, Brady, if you do not ship this chick off to fucking boarding school or something, because here's the thing: it's very easy for people to sit there and say, "Oh, she's a demon child." I'm like, well, what are we doing about it? We gonna exercise this chick? No. Well, then, like, therapy is not working. Therapy is not working. She literally bragged about how she split up. Um, she's bragging about how she split up her, Brady, and that other singing chick. I can't remember. Yeah, send her out to boarding school. Let's say this up. Do you think Holden from Wynard looks like a Black Hoopa Loopa when I saw him? That's the only thing that comes to my mind. No, I don't look at him as a Black Hoopa Loompa, and for some odd reason, that sentence for some odd reason does not exactly sit well with me. Um, Chloe, thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, um, Danny Bear. I know it says Miss Soap Obsessed, but I'm still always going to call you Danny Bear. She split up Matt Clark's. She split up Matt Clark's wife. How old is she? I think she's like 9 or yeah, exactly. I think she's like 9 or 10, right? I think she's like 9 or 10. Allison. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. I thought I was trying to ignore it the first time. I was like, just. I was like, it just doesn't feel kosher to me. Like, I'm not. And she shot her uncle. She shot her uncle. Speaking of Matt Clark, he put her in her place real quick when she started to insult him. This is like one, I almost started laughing at that point because I'm just like, you went first of all, you want to sit there and say, I'm not afraid of you. But then when he starts getting loud and being mad, then she shuts up real quick and kind of like perks back down. I'm like, girl, you just sat there and said that You aren't afraid of him. What happened to your little Xena moment? Like, what happened to that? I don't. I'm not afraid of you. And he was like, shut up. And then he was like, yeah, you're right. There's no need for insults. I was like, oh, now there's no need for insults. When he puts on his big boy voice, there's no need for insults. I mean, listen, I'm not Smith there saying like it's was like racist or anything like that. It just came across as kind of an out of pocket comment. Like it just felt a little off. Like you have to sit there and put whatever person's race in front of whatever sentence that you're using. It just is going to come across as a little off. Like if you just sat there and said, "Oh, he looks like an Oompa Loompa," okay, fine. He looks like a black Oompa Loompa. Like, the fuck is that supposed to mean? So it just comes across as a little off. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm like, EJ. Listen, EJ. When it comes to morality, I don't expect much from EJ. Portia might as well tell Isaiah she's gonna have to. She's gonna have to because I'm like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do when you start showing? Like, oh my goodness! And I keep forgetting that there's two Isaiahs. You know, there's GH Isaiah, and then there is Beyond the Gates Isaiah. Which I hope his name. I hope they do something with him more than just be somebody for Eva. You know. Also, I'm not gonna lie. Here's the thing. I didn't like the fact that Eva kept saying that they're trying to downplay the stuff that she did when she was talking to Martin. She was like, "Oh well, I only went over there because I want to sit there and clear the record and everything like that. And I want to. I was defending myself. I was like, okay, so what happened? Yeah, and I don't like how what Eva is giving Forrest. I also didn't like when she sat there and she tried to explain away how she slept with Kat's boyfriend in a sense. I'm like, here's the thing. I can understand that now. Yeah, she starts to do she. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kat Kat is over the top. I can understand that now. Yeah, Kat is over the top. So it's very easy to sit there and be like, oh, here we go, Kat Snitcher just being really nasty and everything like that. Leslie is always insufferable. Like every damn scene that listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't like Shanice because I find her to be a busybody and just kind of like extra. I wanted Shanice to break that chick's finger so damn bad. I've always couldn't stand when people sit there and start doing this shit, start pointing at somebody. Kat is a lot, but Eva has no accountability for the part she played. Yeah, and that's where it starts to just get like annoying. This is, again, this is one of the many reasons why I don't do. I'm Team Eva. I'm Team Kat because I'm like, yeah, both be doing some shit. It's just that Kat is louder. Kat is louder, but Eva will downplay the shit that she does, and it's like, yeah, when is this goddamn poison going to start to work? She Haley has been sitting there poisoning Bill's tea for like what 2 weeks now. Did you buy the cheapest poison you can find? Like I know it's supposed to be natural, but like damn. Eva says if anyone thought Laura was a clean politician today, proved all politicians are corrupt, even your favorite ones. Mm, well, Laura's character has always been a little off ever since she tried to play nice with Cyrus. I'm just saying, Jess, like, I know Randy was like, oh, just pour a little bit. It's supposed to sit there and be cheap, supposed to sit there and look, be natural causes. But I'm like, you've been poisoning this man for like 3 weeks, like real, because he's been weeks and nothing's happened. He doesn't look like he's fatigued. He doesn't look like he starts to get short of breath. I I want to start to sit there and see some sort of symptoms. I need to see some sort of symptoms. I'm like, what are we doing? Laura always been shady. She married Luke after all, yeah. Um, Johnson said, "How do you think it will play out when Haley finally reveals her true remorse to Bill? Hanging out at Joey's club where there's cameras and stuff. Like, that's a good question, Jonathan. I don't even know. I don't even know. I think I'm just so frustrated with like the small details of like everything else that I haven't even really thought about it that far. Also, like Danny. Okay, Danny and Andre have like the most boringest fucking scenes in that show. I know people like Danny, whatever. I just don't care enough about Danny and Andre, Like I don't care. I don't care. Like, what's good, Krista? How have you been? And I guess at some point we're gonna bounce back to Vanessa playing Madam or Gangster or whatever floats her boat or whatever. And then she'll sit there and say some sort of offhand comment about, "Oh, I love Doug in my own." I feel like every time she says she loves Doug in her own way, I'm like, your your level of love is something that nobody needs. Johnson says, "My guess is that Haley will end up kidnapping Bill, and Danny will be the person thinks about, and she will be the one who rescues him." I can see that. I can see that. Who's your favorite character on Beyond the Gates? And then you said right now. Right now, I would still sit there and say Bill. I would still sit there and say Bill. I don't. Yeah, who's yours, Jess? Honestly, to tell the truth, I'm just like Joey's an interesting character. Joey, I like Joey because Joey don't take no shit. Okay, Joey does not take no shit. So I would sit there and say probably my second one will be Joey. I'm like enjoy everyone else is kind. Is that yeah? Johnson says even if Vanessa supposedly loved Joe, she didn't respect him. Yeah, that's exactly what I was meant to say. Like if that's your version of love, that's love that no man should ever want to sit there and receive. Oh, I love him. I just stepped out every chance that I got. I also started sitting there paying for. Listen, I'm not sitting there trying to shade anyone that pays for that stuff. I mean, it's a little unheard of for a woman to sit there and pay for that. Like I'm not trying to stereotype, but it's a little out the blue. Like, oh yeah, I was not there paying for escorts. I was like, why? Like why? Like that's just a waste of money right there. There's so much about Vanessa that I just like. That'd be so odd if they just make Sitwell a Cassadine. Like, really? Are the ranks that low? They really need to sit there and make Sitwell just like a hidden Cassadine? You, mm, why they would sit there and do that. Well, it's GA, so sometimes they do things that you're just like, all right, whatever. I don't like Vanessa, but I like her with Joey. Sitwell is a Sitwell. Yeah, I don't see that. You know, I don't see why they would need to do that, but you know, so Chase is probably going to want to lose his badge, and I'm going to be honest. If he does, I don't care. If Chase loses his badge, I don't care. His wife sat there and said it was a bad idea. Alexis sat there saying it's a bad idea. Chase was like, "Nah, I'm going to sit there and do it. I got to sit there and play a hero. I got to be White Knight to sit there and Willow." So I'm like, okay. I'm like, bro. Even again, even if you do sit there and prove, that's where you get these. Yeah, exactly, Jonathan. Days would be the only one that's going to be on that time. I'm like, and that's the thing though. Like, I guess he kind of forgot what happened the last time he lost his badge. He lost his job, and he felt like shit. He felt like his life was coming to an end, and it was like everything was all doom and gloom. Because being a cop was his passion, but you're not treating it like a passion right now. You just like you Broski is risking it all for Willow. Like, okay, all right, bro. Now Dante. I want to know what everyone thinks about Dante. Are people still liking Dante? I mean, are people still disliking Dante for how hard he came at Gio? I think at this point y'all know my answer, but I want to ask y'all. Y'all think that Dante should have been more easier on Gio? Should have loosened up a little bit? Wouldn't have been so hard, with more understanding. What do you think about that, Jonathan? You think that Dante should have been more? Dante is trash, not just for getting on Gia, but also Michael a few weeks ago. Dante babies Rocco, like I said before, but I understand more now than the party situation. Oh damn! Christian just giving them all sorts of pink slips. Johnson says, yes, Dante was way too harsh for Gio. And Allison says Dante has a temper like Sonny. I understand where Dante is coming from. I understand where Dante is coming from because honestly, tell you the truth, sometimes you get. That's the thing. This shit happened a second time. I'm not pulling punches the second time. One, I don't pull punches, but if this should happen again with poor judgment, you damn right I'm not pulling punches. I'm not gonna sit there and be all nice and sweet and be like, well, I understand that you didn't want him to sit there and go. Maybe you shouldn't put the fucking idea into his head, and that wouldn't have happened. But you did. You roped him in to this whole heist save the animal situation, and now because of your influence and your poor judgment, he's in the detention center. Like exactly. Just so I'm like, but I also agree with Lulu. Rocco, you did that to yourself again. Like even at the party, Danny was like, "Hey, listen, all you have to do is hold the cup." Danny did not sit there and say, "Drink that whole goddamn cup," and then drink the next one. Final says that just a random question: Who is your worst YouTuber ever? Who is my worst? What? Who's the worst? You mean like Who's the worst YouTuber? Oh, kind of a tough one. A lot of scumbags out there. I actually have to think about that. Yeah, that's a really good one. The first time was stupid. Jill didn't give Rocco alcohol and was not even there when he was drinking. No, but he also didn't sit there and call him when he was drunk. You know, he was like, "Oh, you just sleep it off. My friends do it all the time." Yeah, but still, I don't even know who that friend's name is. But yeah, she's coming next week. But see, just like what I'm saying, Jonathan, when they showed the previews, didn't it seem like they couldn't wait to get past? Didn't it seem like they couldn't wait to get past um the Luna stuff? Jack Doherty is bad. Jack Doherty is bad. I feel like there's worse stuff. That's a really good question. Like Jack Doherty is bad, but I've seen some good scumbags. I just gotta really sit there and think about it. Jonathan? Why do I have a feeling that Remy's gonna be working at Forrester Creations? Just as the first time wasn't even his fault. Gio wasn't there. He wasn't there, but he was there at the house. That's the problem. Like he was at the house. He knew that he was drunk. Like yeah, he wasn't there at the party or anything like that, but he was there at the house, and he should have sat there and called him. You know, he should have sat there and called him like, hey, listen, your son was not there drinking. I think he's fine, but whatever. He didn't have to make a big deal out of it. And I get that he didn't want to rat him out, but like, it's one of those things where it's like, here's the thing. I feel like Dante would have got upset with Gio even if Rocco would have woke up the next day with a hangover. He would have woke up with a hangover. He would have been thrown up and stuff like that. And Dante would have been like, well, you were drinking? And then, like, would have probably at some point asked Gio, was like, yeah, he was drinking, but he seemed like he was fine. There's a certain level of like, my son was drinking and you didn't even sit there and tell me. It's like, yeah, he's fine, but like, you didn't tell me. Like, I don't know. Maybe in the back of my head, it would have trust level would have kind of dropped a little bit. We're gonna be honest. Jack Doherty is a dick. Um, he's also a coward that does pranks on people and then hides behind security like a little schoolgirl. Okay, let's be honest. He hides behind his security like a damn pussy. Like let's just be real. Scarlett is now in Idaho. She plays Violet volleyball. That's why the character. Oh, okay. Hmm. Listen, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this, Charlotte. It took me a hot minute, but to be fair, like Charlotte has never been a character I've been like, oh, cool, Charlotte's here today. Like I feel like a recast like that, as long as the actress doesn't suck, then it's like, okay, whatever, fine. Because like, yep, that is correct, Brockway. Because it started to get kind of cold, and now I feel like it's getting kind of hot again. Like I don't know. I feel like I can't win. Like I don't know if my neighbors have the heat on, or the heat knob is broken again, and I got to get my landlord to fix it. But it's like, yeah, yeah, it's been weird. When it got cold, I took the AC out, and then it got warm, and I put the AC back in. And now it got cold, so I took it back out, and I was fucking warm. So this is why I get sick. This is why I get sick. Well, this is why I was Felt like I was coming down with something yesterday. Runny nose. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll get some Benadryl. I mean, that worked, but then I got drowsy. So I was like, well, that sucks. But yeah, Charlotte's been a character I've been like, all right, whatever. Johnson says any other casting ideas for Stefano if that's who they're trying to revive. I feel like fans just blow hot air. Like, you know what? Listen, I'm cool if it gets really hot. I'm cool just plugging that shit right back in. No, I don't have any casting ideas. I just, here's the thing. I feel like people are gonna be upset. Like, I can't believe you recast Stefano Demira. I'm like, well, Ego says I have to give it to Sophia for days. She's doing her best. Fucking fact. Yeah, she is killing it. Ego, she is fucking killing it because she's not doing a damn thing. Which, by the way, I'm not. Here's the thing: you had um, cringe Lord Aaron and Ari there talking to Sophia, and I'm like, and then Gabby sat there, and then Gabby sat there. Eh, I mean, listen, it'd be cool to see. It'd be cool to see Jeff. And then Gabby sat there and tried to be like understanding towards Sophia's situation because she was young when she got pregnant. But I'm like, Sophia fucked over a lot of people. And my biggest thing is when she tried to fuck over Johnny. When she tried to fuck over Johnny. And basically was like blamed him for ruining her life. And I'm like, girl, at the end of the day, you spreading your legs before you were ready to sit there and have a baby is what ruined your life. You made a poor decision and then you wanted your problem to be taken care of by somebody else. And when they backed out of it, then you want to sit there and blame them. But I'm supposed to sit there and get guilt tripped and to feel some sort of get the fuck out of here. Get the hell up out of here. Allison says air circulation helps. I can't stand stale air. Yeah. Yeah, it's I feel like I said, Allison, I feel like I can't win. Like I can put in my AC tonight, and then in like 2 days, it'll start to get cold and brick, and then I'll be like, well, I guess it's time to sit there and take the AC out. I mean, the last time I thought that my neighbors actually just had the heat on, like they just were hot. And it turned out that the knob was broken, so they couldn't even turn the AC, they couldn't even turn the heat off. So I had to sit there and get somebody to fix it so this way they can turn the heat off. And now it's like it feels like it's 102 in my fucking room. That's what it feels like. It's just so annoying. I don't know. Allison, sometimes I don't even notice. Like, there's been times I've just been in my room just watching the soap and just going from one to the other, windows closed and everything like that. So, like, how warm is it there? I can't stand having the heat on. It's warm. Like, it's pretty warm. I don't know. In my mind, I'm just like, now if I'm not too tipsy, maybe I'll put the AC back. Maybe I'll put the AC back in the window. But no, Jonathan, like I said, they recast stuff. No, people are gonna be angry. When they sat there and they recast Nicholas, people flipped the fuck out. And I'm like, listen, I like Tyler as Nicholas. We saw some old clips. I don't remember which actor that played Nicholas during that time when Gia was on, but he was a good Nicholas. He was actually the first Nicholas that I saw when he had Jacob Young play. They had Jacob Young play Lucky, and I thought he did. I thought he did get a good Nicholas. I don't know. I always feel like no actor owns a character. As long as they as long as they can do a good job, I'm cool with it. Now you may have your favorites, especially when it comes towards Harley, right? Some people like Sarah, some people like Tamara. No one likes that other chick. I don't even remember what her name is. And then some people like Laura. I'm a person that likes Laura. Um, I always refer to I always refer to that Carly that should not be named. Mostly because I don't even remember the actress name, but like also she was just a really bad it was a really bad recast. And it's the sad thing is that it's not because she couldn't necessarily act. Huh, I almost forgot about this. There's Laura sitting up there making bad decisions. There we go. Jennifer Bradford. Yeah, there's so much. Jennifer Bradford. Yeah. Yeah, Carly number three was awful. Yeah, Jennifer. Jennifer, you know what the thing is? It's so crazy because like when Jennifer came on, there was no YouTube, there was no, you know what I'm saying? Like you can have like me or JLJ Media or somebody come on there and be like, yo, Jennifer is fucking trash. Get this chick off my goddamn screen now, right? This is when you had soap opera digest, and forums and stuff like that. But you didn't have YouTube. I would, part of me is like, I would have loved to be a YouTuber back then because I don't think I would. Well, I was a different person back then, so I don't think I would have been too kind. I might have actually been a straight up dick if we're gonna be honest. There was so chat rooms though, and so forums online. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They did. It wasn't like how it is now, though, right? Like I said before YouTube, before people came on, before you had your Brock TVs and your Sabrina Faiths on there, because they're the OGs, and of course GLG Media. I remember the SoapNet chats. I remember SoapNet. Shit. I remember SoapNet. Remember when SoapNet was a thing and you literally had like a marathon of all the soap operas on that day. I mean, granted, they were showing like really old soap operas. Like they were showing like Knots Landing and Ryan's Hope. I mean, like really like old and grainy kind of soaps. Absolutely, Allison. There was a point I used to like really be into the soaps, and I would rewatch the marathons of One Life to Live because One Life to Live was my show also. So I would rewatch the marathon of One Life to Live in General Hospital. Yep, that's when Laura decided instead of calling the cops, you know, she decides to sit there and call Sonny because that just made sense. Johnson says if Days is truly bringing Stefano, they probably won't reveal him until the new year cliffhanger. Oh, Jonathan, remember I sat there and said I was like, they're not gonna probably do the whole poisoning Sarah until Friday. And I was fucking right. I knew they were gonna wait till Friday to do it. I did sometimes, yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, it was fun back then. But yeah, she decided it was a good idea to sit there and call Sonny, the local mobster, the guy who people sit there and say, oh, you're in his pocket or whatever. Um, I still feel like next week when Trina's on, she's gonna be out of pocket again. She's gonna step to Jordan. Yo, Allison, when she sat there and touched that body, it was like, yo, what the just as I was surprised she called Sonny. At first when Nathan showed up, I was like, okay, good. She got some common sense. She called Nathan, she called the cops or whatever. Good. All right, whatever. That's good. But then when Nathan was talking to her and she was being all like very sus and stuff, I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, this is a point where you sit there and come clean, be like, hey, listen, I got a dead body in the trunk or whatever, and actually my whole thing was like, girl, his eyes is open and he does not look like he's breathing. Oh, let me sit there and check a pulse. Why don't you call 911 and then check a pulse? Or do you not know how to use a cell phone? Like, I swear, this is when I start asking. I feel like I start asking way too many questions, and it takes me longer to do the review because I'm just like, I'm usually writing and just kind of like talking out loud, like, why are we touching the dead body? Why do you think that he's alive? His fucking eyes are open. LaShawn said that Brendan have someone kidnap Anna. Nah, that was last time. Nah, this sounds like Pascal that was on the intercom. LaShawn. She had the whole phone book in her phone. Yeah. Everybody that she could have sat there and called. She called Kevin. She called Alexis. I was like, okay, Kevin, whatever. Alexis, okay, cool. You want to sit there and call your lawyer? Have them meet you at the prison. Meet you at the PCPD, whatever. Cool. And she calls fucking Sonny. I'm like, okay. Stella, the goddamn busybody, needs to mind her damn business. Jordan, that's a damn hypocrite. Because I mean, let's be honest, you're doing the same thing that Portia did to you, which I know most people sit there and say that's karma. Dante, everyone sit there think he's a dick, but I think he has reason. Justine, she's gonna sit there and want to sleep with Sonny, which, like, listen, I'm gonna just sit there and say this shit every day, and until hopefully it comes true. Or Maurice Bernard decides to sit there and challenge me and tell me why he thinks that his character should still be on his damn show, seducing woman number 470, somebody who's supposed to be smart and not get caught up in whatever nonsense that Sonny got going on. But no, we're going to sit there and make this very smart, successful woman dumb because, Sonny. Also, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's just me because I've been watching. I've been watching a lot of All My Children, but I can see her acting when she played Babe on All My Children, and now Lulu, which is it's not. I don't feel like it's that much of a difference. I feel like if you watch All My Children, you watch clips of of Babe from All My Children, and then you see her play Lulu. You're like, yeah, I can kind of see how I feel like she's playing them very similar. Like Lulu doesn't take any shit, but Babe also didn't really take a lot of shit. Also, huh, not exactly the best picture, but I feel like the middle Laura Ray was like she has that '70s look. I wish the picture wasn't so blurred, but she definitely come across like she has that plus she seemed like she might have been like in her mid 30s in that middle picture. I don't remember her having an accent. That's the weird thing is, Allison. I don't remember Babe actually having an accent. Babe was more likable. Babe, Babe wasn't as bratty as Lulu. Babe wasn't as bratty as Lulu. Yeah, that's what I was gonna sit there and say. Like mid 30s, definitely '80s look. And of course, that was just a great scene. That was just a great scene. This is why I'm like, listen, Sitwell get shit done, okay? And again, it was so laughable when Britt was like, "Why'd you shoot him for?" I was like, "Girl, you literally laid out every reason to take out Dalton. He brought attention to their illegal activities. As she put it, I can do my job and your job as well. And you come in Sitwell's house, you start mouthing off, you're getting all loud and shit. So when Sitwell was like, you pretty much kind of laid it out, like, you told me that Dalton was going to sit there and betray me. What do you think I was going to do? I'm like, he wasn't wrong. I remember at one point the show got so boring that I think one of my subscribers like, Sonny should just sit there and whip out a gun and just shoot someone. So I was really glad that he did that. She's freaking she's freaking out now like she didn't know who he was before. I mean, to be fair, Allison, I don't know if she did know who he was. Like she was in the Five Poppies or whatever, just kind of like Pascal was like second in command. So I feel like she was mostly dealing with Pascal. Um, that could be wrong. Maybe she don't. I have no idea. Like she could have only just met him when he got to Port Charles, or she could have knew him the entire time. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Johnson says, "Do you think that Jennifer will continue pursuing the custody?" Yeah, I do. I do. And as weird as it sounds, I feel like Jennifer's getting a bad rap. Like I feel like people are sitting there trying to treat her like she's the Wicked Witch of the West. In all reality, she is literally sitting there trying to protect her grandchildren. Thomas did something really stupid, but he did something really stupid because he was so angry and so emotionally and mentally messed up that he ran into the streets, got hit by a car, and could have been killed, as he should. But but think about it for a hot minute. What happened one of those days during this week? Kat was walking in the town square. She had a sprained wrist, and Chad stopped her to sit there and have a conversation. I'm like, bro, did you not see what happened the last time you were talking to Kat and your son ran into traffic? Like, it's a small town. You're going to run into her. She may get a bump or whatever. And you're going to sit there and talk to her, and your son is going to flip out. So, like, in Jennifer's eyes, she's like, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm going to get these children out of Salem. You want to sit there and have your little fling or whatever with Kat? Cool. But the children don't need to sit there and be exposed to that. So I feel like she's kind of getting a bad rap because it's like she's not being malicious. She's not doing this to punish Chad or she doesn't think that he's a good father in a sense. But right now, the situation is so bad that it's like she has to do something to remove the kids. And she has a pretty good case. Thomas is hurt, and he don't want to F with his dad. Even Jeremy was like, "You need to move out the house." Listen, I've said this. I said that months ago. I was like, "Bro, why are you sitting up there living in the Hortons house when you got to sit there and deal with Jennifer and her constant judgment?" It's just acidine. I'm like, I know sometimes you don't get along with your brother, but you really think it's worse than that they're dealing with Julie? Because I don't. I just simply don't. But again, I still wonder who's in two. I wonder who is in that damn tube. Oh shit. I don't know if I showed you this picture, but I'll show it to you though. I think some people may know who these people are. Then he says Jennifer was there too when Thomas ran into the road. She could have stopped it. Oh, Danny man, I love it. Ryan and Annie. Yep, that's right. Ryan and Annie. Melissa Claire Egan. Danny bear knows her shit. But Sean says Phyllis is just mad that Danny never married her, but Danny chose to marry Christine again. Yeah, and Phyllis is not there acting like a 16-year-old brat. That is correct. I think she got shot. I think she got killed. At, or was it Princess Gina? It wasn't Gina. It was somebody. It was another princess. But I do remember her getting shot because the target was Erica Kane, and I don't know if she got in the way or she looked like her, but and it was alive. Okay, so who got shot then? Johnson says AJ could probably use Gwen as a character witness and have her testify against. Oh, she went into a. Okay, so Justin, then who got shot then? Was it the first chick? She was a princess, though. I know she was a princess. I have to try to look up. I think it's something with a G, though. Annie was a nut job. Oh wow, okay. We have to do a night of her. Oh, Marissa got shot. Okay. Yeah, yo, okay. Danny Bear and Jonathan, how long was y'all watching All My Children for? That's why that's why how long was that okay, I can take this off. How long was y'all watching All My Children for? And also if they can bring back one soap opera. Jillian, thank you. It was Princess Jillian. I know it. Thank you. Didn't watch much of NC because I was focused on days at the time. On and off my whole life till it got canceled. Yeah, if they could bring back a soap, what soap opera would it be? And that could be any soap opera. That could be any soap opera. Any soap opera. You get one wish to be like, all right, we're gonna bring this shit back on Monday. One like okay, Jonathan is on the one like to live. Okay. Danny Bear be one like to live. Okay. See, Jonathan knows what show that I would tell him to bring back. Jonathan already knows the show I would tell him to bring back. I've been sitting there saying this shit. Yes, absolutely, Jonathan. Passion, Passions is my new favorite fucking soap opera. Holy shit. Um, I love Passions. Listen, Passions knew where they stood. Okay, they weren't trying to be the best. They leaned into their shit and they just made it work. So I would 100% go with Passions, without a doubt. Yeah. Listen, say, guys, bring back AMC. Guys, bring back AMC or One Live. No, I'm not gonna. It's weird because I would normally say One Life to Live, but I've been really digging All My Children. And I'm gonna be honest. Some of the later stuff that I saw with um One Life to Live, some of the characters are kind of, yeah. I would still want them to bring it back, but I had to choose between that and All My Children. Danny says Passion is my all-time favorite soap, but so many other characters and head writers are dead now. I feel like Live was the best soap at the time it was canceled. I know they got both of the actors that play Alistair Crane was. I mean, seriously, you could sit there and just pull Portia from the show and just bring her back as Whitney, and that other actor that played Vincent Clarkson or Valerie, that dude is still alive. You could sit there and bring her back, and you could just cancel Beyond the Gates and just put her back as Valerie. I'd be cool with that. Like I said, that show knew where it stood. So I could like I can respect that. No more Ray from Brady on days. It actually put their asses back on Passions. Damn sure pull Brady back on Passions. Johnson says remember when A first watched Body and Soul on days, they could do something funny where A watches Passions and the actors who play Brady and Ray could briefly reprise their roles. I like that. Yeah, it's actually really funny, Jonathan. I feel like during that story, I was I felt like I was on the island by myself because a lot of other people did not like the body and soul stuff, and I appreciated it. I appreciated it. Um, there was things that they did on Body and Soul that mirrored real like soap opera stuff, like behind the scenes. That was the stuff I was digging because most people don't know about that. Most people don't know about the actual drama that goes on behind soap stuff. You know, so I appreciated it, And plus, it was weird. It was like a soap opera within a soap opera. It was like that episode of Seinfeld when they decided to do a show about their actual characters. So it was like a show within a show, if that makes sense. So I appreciated it. But you didn't like the cheesiness of it. The cheesiness, the cringiness. Oh, who is that deranged chick? I can't remember her name. Whitney, right? Was that her name? Whitney? That was another thing that I liked about the show. That was another thing I liked about the story was Whitney. Because let's be honest, unfortunately, you do actually have Whitneys and the soap opera fandoms. Thank you, Jonathan and Danny Bear. Whitney. You do actually have people like that. And granted, there's people that go beyond like the what do they call it? What do they call that thing? The Andrea Doria, the the dude that broke into ABC Studios to come at one of the actresses. I think it was like Andrea, whatever. I mean, granted, that was an extreme case, but like, oh, Whitley, thank you, Whitley. Well, who was the It was on like Live. It was. I actually wound up doing a members video about that. Dude broke into ABC because he was obsessed. Speaking of obsessed, and granted, this is self related. Eva LaRue, if you have Paramount Plus, which I'm going to watch tomorrow, she talks about her stalker. When she was on All My Children, she played Maria Santos, and then she was on CSI Miami. Like the dude was like stalking her and stuff. I mean, the point is that you do have some deranged ass people. Like I don't know, maybe it was just me, but I was like, I felt like that story needed to be told. Yeah, most people are just cool and just want to watch, and they get a little overzealous. Like certain people, I'm not going to sit there and mention. Then you have the Whitleys. No, I don't have HBO Max. I plan on getting HBO Max. I want to finish watching Invincible though on Amazon. I want to finish watching on Amazon. There is some stuff I do want to sit there and watch though, and not just the comic book stuff, but there's a documentary I want to sit there and watch on HBO Max with the chick Allison Mack. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna say it, but you know what I'm talking about. I believe I actually sat through an hour of that, which normally I don't do, but it also says once Warner Brother gets sold, you get it because it will merge with one of the streaming services. Really? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, we definitely have to sit there and chop it up this weekend. I'm hearing more stories about that other stuff that you're sitting there saying isn't true. So we got definitely gonna sit there and chop that up. And he knows what I'm talking about too. I'm not even gonna say it. I don't understand why I don't understand why people I understand why people are sitting there wanting Kevin to come back. What is Kevin actually going to do when he comes back to General Hospital? Part of me is like, Johnson says, so if Comcast gets Warner Brothers, HBO Max will. Oh, okay, that's good. I mean, here are some different stories about it, like who may get it, and the whole ZS that may be coming back with his universe. Somebody actually wrote they order they okay. I'm just gonna reread this person's sentence that makes sense. They should recast Kevin or write him off for good. The actors on another soap look like they may put Laura with Sonny. I will kill off. Yo, if they put Sonny with fucking Laura, I think that may be the end. Is not coming back. Jonathan, I'm I'm gonna say this as a friend. I'm gonna sit there and say this so everyone could be witnesses. If it comes back, if it comes back, I'm going to brag. I'm going to sit there and say I told you so, and I'm going to be very immature about it. Like really immature about it. Yep, just remember you said that. I don't want him. Um, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. They should do something with Kevin at this point. Where are you listening to these from? Well, one person is from a YouTube channel called Harsh Critic. No, I'm trying to warn you. I feel like I'm trying to warn you at this point, Jonathan. I feel like I'm kind of strong. Listen, I didn't make a video about it yet, but I'm just letting you know if it comes back. Jonathan, you know how I can be. Like you've been on my channel long enough. You know how I can be. That channel is not a reliable source. Okay, it won't come back. Let me ask you a question, Jonathan. I need you to be honest. Do you think it's not going to come back because you are a James Gunn fan, or do you just not think it's going to come back for other reasons? You don't have to list it, but there are from diehard fans who wanted to return. No, I'm just meant to say, like, are you a James Gunn fan, or you just really believe that it's not coming back? That's the question. I understand how these people sit there saying they need Kevin to come back. Come back for what? What is he coming back for? What they weren't doing like they General Hospital was not doing anything with Kevin for him to sit there and have this much you know I don't understand why people. I'm being realistic. If you want me to explain it, come on, you're live. You want to come on now real quick before I end the stream? I have you come on. If you want to come on now before I end it, then yeah. Then he says Kevin is not needed. John seems done with the character. I'm just like, what more could they do? I mean, it's weird because, like, I say, what more could they do with him? But the character has been on way before I've been watching the show, right? I don't know what more they can do with him. I don't know. I don't know what more they could sit there and do with him. If we're gonna be honest, I don't. I don't. I don't. I feel like sometimes people just want certain characters to come back on just because, and it's like I want Scotty to come back on. Like why? What's gonna get? He's funny and charming, and he reminds me of the '80s or some shit. I'm like, I feel like that's why they want certain characters to come back on. I'm just like, I don't. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just I don't. Yeah, I sent it. Yeah, I just sent it. I just sent it. The only thing I can think Kevin could do would be Willow's Willow's psychiatrist. I miss Scotty. He could be. But see, that's my. You know. Okay. See, that's the proof. I was like, I miss Scotty. I miss. Who do I miss? I miss a lot of people. I. And by the way, Jonathan, I sent it. I miss Todd in a certain sense. I miss Colin. I don't see a reason to have them come back on. Be interesting if like, oh, cool. How about they put Erica Kane on? But like, but even for somebody from like GH, I feel like sometimes people just miss seeing their characters, but like, it's more of a feeling than like a good reason for them to be back on. Like, okay, cool. I didn't like how they killed off Morgan. I thought it was dumb as hell. But I don't. I also don't see a point for Morgan to come back on. Jonathan,
Hey, buddy, how are you?
hey,
Okay, so you're probably thinking that I'm telling you this because I'm a diehard James Gunn fan or something like that. That is not the case. I'm not a diehard I'm not a diehard James Gunn fan. If any because if anything, I think it should have gone in a in a particularly different direction than where it is now. Uh, but but I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I'm like I said, I did enjoy the Superman movie. I thought it was good for what it was, and I'm not a Zack Snyder hater. Like I did like some of the stuff from the beginning. And some of the other things. So okay, so let me explain to you why it's not coming back and why you shouldn't like buy yourself into this hope that it is coming back. Okay, first off, whatever channel that you happen to listen to or whatever sources, don't take them at face value because these aren't people with factual legit sources. These are just diehard Snyder fans that want that really want the Snyderverse to come back, and they also at the same time they want the James Gunn universe to fail. That's why you keep having all these people saying they're doing this with Superman or whatnot, and it hasn't, and the movie was a flop, which it was not. I mean, it didn't do as it probably didn't do as well as it expected or desired, but it wasn't a flop. It did like moderately successful, but yeah, let me explain to you why the reboot took place in the first place, and why it's not coming back. Not because I don't want it to, but like realistically, it wouldn't, and why it wouldn't make sense. So I'm sure you remember, like, so we got some good movies the first time, like Man of Steel, great film. Batman versus Superman what I will say about that film is, I think they really should have just did a proper Man of Steel 2 movie before they did the Batman Superman movie. I think that was the first mistake that they made there. The first Wonder Woman movie was good, and then after that we got into the whole Justice League movie, which didn't come out well the first time. But honestly, the Justice League movie shouldn't have been rushed out like that. Like not before establishing the other DC characters like Cyborg and Flash and Aquaman. They like everyone really should have had their own solo movie before doing a Justice League movie. And the reason they decided to do a Justice League movie so soon because they're trying to catch up to Marvel's success, you know, because they did the Avengers and they wanted to. They're trying to capitalize on that success with the DC characters, but unfortunately, that didn't work out too well. Like, like, like after that, Aquaman did well. That was successful, and the first Shazam movie was decent, but then I think Suicide Squad also did pretty well, but then all these other sequels that happened, like they didn't do as well, and things were starting to fall apart. Like Wonder Woman 1984 that underperformed, unfortunately, and then the whole situation with the Black Adam situation, like it not only did Black Adam not do well, but basically the whole thing like ruined the potential plot line for the second Shazam the second Shazam movie because Dwayne Johnson like from what I heard he had this whole plan like he wanted Black Adam to eventually like become a fixture in the DCEU and basically rival up to Superman. But a lot of people didn't want that, and it didn't really make sense because Shazam. I mean, Black Adam. He's not an anti-hero. He's a villain to
Yeah,
Shazam. And he should have been the main villain in the second Shazam film. Shazam and Black Adam should have faced off, but Dwayne Johnson just didn't want to be connected to really want to be connected to Shazam in any way, even though the character is generally connected. You had
yeah,
the wizard in Black Adam, you know, um, and then so they did the second Shazam movie, and they basically created characters for the movie who weren't part of the comic books. It didn't really hit as well as the first Shazam movie, so that was unfortunate. And so and then things were really a mess with the whole Ezra Miller situation,
yeah,
and because they didn't want to reshoot the entire movie or recast the role, they just went on with the movie, and that didn't do well. And as you can see, all these things were falling apart. They were losing money from every other film that came out after pretty much after I think maybe the first Suicide movie or something like that. So that's basically what happened and what led them to decide to reboot the entire DC universe. Now, personally, what I would have done is do a complete reboot of DC. You know, not have any characters left over from the DCEU. But James Gunn didn't do that. He kept Peacemaker. He kept Amanda Waller and other select characters that were in the Suicide Squad movies, basically. But yeah, yeah. So and that wasn't really a good idea because when you have these characters kept in, you know, a lot of people were wondering why Henry Cavill didn't stick around, or anyone else wasn't kept, and that's a problem right there because you can't really do a whole rebooted universe if you keep certain people from the previous universe in, and that's basically what created the whole controversy. And I think that's why a lot of Zack Snyder fans are in this movie to try to bring back the Snyderverse, to try to bring back that universe. But on realistically, that just wouldn't happen whether James Gunn universe does well or not, because the only thing that would happen if James Gunn universe were to fail, which I like they're still early on, so I don't think we can make that prediction soon. But if that were the case, they wouldn't go back to uh, the Snyderverse, because one, they were already losing money from that universe, and two, everyone else basically moved on. The actors have moved on. They're not holding on to hope, and that they'll get back to their roles. But the only thing that would happen is that they would do a completely clean reboot, uh, a fresh reboot that has no ties to the Snyderverse or whatever other universe there is. So that's really the only thing what will happen. So as far as James Gunn's universe is going, it's too soon to tell. Like, we only got basically got one movie out of it, and soon we're going to get that Lanterns TV show. I mean, I mean, I know a lot of things may not sound too great and ideal when it comes to the James Gunn universe, but I think we just have to hold out hope, and
Be
like
patient.
yeah, be patient, see how everything turns out. So that's really the reality of it. So if you see any YouTube channels like spewing out all hope, saying that this is like Snyder's coming back because they're doing this, they're doing that. Remember, those are not actual. Those are just YouTubers with wishful thinking. They're not legit sources. So I'm just telling you this because I don't want you to hold out hope for this and then realize that.
Or make a video and be like,
Yeah,
the Snyderverse is back, bitches. Like,
yeah,
just
exactly.
going out there look like a fool.
Because remember what happened with the with the Lulu recasting supposed news.
Oh yeah, I remember that. And I put out the wrong. Yeah, that was fun.
Exactly, and so I don't want you to fall into that trap again. So
I got you.
yeah, so that's why I'm telling you this. Like, I'm not saying you can't be you can't be a fan of the Snyderverse. You can definitely be a fan of the Snyderverse. Like I said, we had good stuff in it. I liked a lot of the stuff we got from it, and if anything, I
Oh,
wish we
is
could
that
have
your
gotten.
ringtone?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Oh
like
yeah,
it.
oh yeah. You heard that? Oh,
Yes.
oh wow.
Yeah, I heard that. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh wow. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah. But yeah, so yeah. So we can still be fans of the Snyderverse. Like, I think the only hope you can have of a possible continuation is in comic book form, because that's the only possible continuation for you could possibly hope for that. If you want to if you want to see some continuation, some conclusion of that, because because what I'll say is, like, there was a lot of missteps and missed opportunities when it came to the Snyderverse. We should have gotten a Ben Affleck Batman movie. We should have
Yeah.
gotten a proper Man of Steel 2 movie before doing the Batman versus Superman movie, and the other characters should have gotten solo movies before doing a whole Justice League movie. So those are, unfortunately, those are the missteps that what led them to the downfall and the restart. So we just have to be, like you said, we have to be patient and hope we can get the best out of this. Like I realized, like, James Gunn, the humor and from whatever projects he's doing, they're not exactly your cup of tea, and I feel the same way. Like, I didn't really watch the second Suicide Squad movie, and I watched Peacemaker, but like, too much of the material on that show, like, not exactly for me. But I was worried like the Superman movie was going to be like that, but it wasn't. Thank God. So yeah, I think James Gunn does care about these characters, and we just have to see what what he puts out. Like give him I say give him a chance. Like like um like we don't have to like it, but we could. But let's see what he does with Batman, or how the Supergirl movie turns out, and hopefully we get better movies from the whatever characters we haven't seen. Like
So
hopefully,
basically, Smith is saying like, don't keep your wallets closed, like what I've been Smith is saying all week.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So
I got you.
and
I got you.
and I'm especially hoping we get we get another a Flash movie that's actually good, and a good actor for the role.
And a good person too, because
Exactly.
as we know, he's not exactly the not somebody who has like really good morals. I would sit there and say.
Yeah, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't want them to just ignore the Flash, the Flash entirely, just because the last movie and the whole situation didn't turn out good. But I think in fact, because of that, I think that's why we need to get another Flash movie, so we can so the character can have like a bit of a redemption in the spotlight. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I,
exactly.
I will sit there and say like, listen, I know people didn't like the actor, and I get that.
Yeah.
I personally did like the movie though. I will sit there and stand on that. I did like the movie,
Yeah,
but that's just me, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. It wasn't the worst. It was good for what it was. I mean, we got Michael Keaton Batman. That was probably one of the best parts of it. I think for me the only problem was it focused too much of it felt more like a multiverse movie instead of a Flash movie for the most part, because if you look at the movie, there weren't any Flash villains. Like the villains he faced was basically Zod, a Superman villain.
Yeah,
Yeah, and and the only and the only dark force we saw was like his future self, that was like like decrepit, and uh, trying to fix the
like this.
universe.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there were no Flash villains. We didn't see Reverse Flash. We didn't see Captain Cold. We didn't
yeah.
see.
That was definitely a missed opportunity. I did like the chick that plays Supergirl.
Yeah, yeah, she
I
was
will
good.
say
Yeah,
that like I was surprised by that because like when I first heard it, I was like, what are we doing?
yeah.
But even like Melissa Benoist, like she endorsed it. I was like, I'll give it a chance since she's endorsing it. I'll give it
You know the actress who plays Supergirl, uh, Sasha Kaye. She was on the Young and the she used to be on Young and Restless.
yes. What was her character?
Her character was named Lola.
Lola. Okay, yeah, she was with Kyle, and I heard that somebody used to sit there and do some breezy shit back in the day, but
Yeah,
yeah, I heard about that. Okay, all right. Well, it definitely gives me some food for thought.
yeah,
I will sit there and take a look at the thing we were listening to talk about for Sunday. I don't want to sit there and say what it is, but you know
Oh,
what I'm talking
oh, I just remember. I still forgot to send you the
about.
clips.
It's
Oh,
fine. I got some clips. I got some ideas for some clips or whatever. I got a whole playlist. So
yeah,
um,
yeah. I hope it's not too late.
no. I got time tomorrow after I go to the laundromat, so I can sit there and look up the character. Like I said, I got the playlist. All I need to sit there and do is screen record it and then just upload it. So
Okay, so I'll do my best to send in the character the clips for the character, even if we don't end up watching it this Sunday.
yeah, definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
All
All
right.
right. Anything you want to sit there and say before we end it?
Yeah. A reminder to everyone. So I believe General Hospital will only be on for 3 days next week, and I believe it's the same thing for YNR, BNB, and Beyond the Gate. So the only soap opera you'll see next week for during all 5 days is Days of Our Lives.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's correct. Yeah, because it's gonna be Thanksgiving and then Day after that is going to be football. So yeah, that seems
Yeah.
all right.
I have one more. I have a question for you.
Sure, yeah.
So I mentioned this a little bit earlier in my comments. So I said that EJ could probably like when he's representing Chad and they go to court, he can probably recruit Gwen, and then she could testify, and then mention how Jennifer
Oh
ran him over.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
was she drunk or high or both or something like that? Like I know she was on painkillers or something, right?
yeah, I think she was definitely under the influence somehow.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, Gwen could definitely bring her up, and that could help Chad's favor.
Yeah. 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 That I mean, listen, she ran her over with a whole car. So
Yeah. So I would definitely, I think that would be a fun scene to
high
watch.
on painkillers. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that would definitely be a fun scene to watch, and I think I think Glenn would probably lavish at the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. I just you know how I do. Like listen. We saw Charlotte say, so I understand what you're Smith you're talking about. Like, Charlotte didn't do anything, and you're taking both kids. I guess my whole thing is like I stopped looking at her like the Wicked Witch of the West because I'm like, she's not doing this out of malice. She's not doing this because I hate you, Chad, or
Yeah,
you're messing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're doing anything. You're moving on. And I don't like that. Like I understand where she's coming from. So I'm not. I think that's why I'm not as when she started going at Kat and not understanding that like she was a victim in that whole thing,
yeah,
um, that's what I was like, all right, that's an issue.
yeah,
Oh, but what I was gonna sit there and say was that's another reason I'm not gonna get fully into it, but that HBO Max, that's another reason why I want to get it.
yeah,
The whole thing with Allison Mack. She was on Michael Rosenbaum's show, right?
yeah. I actually saw clips of that.
I actually it's the only time I actually watched the whole episode.
Oh, wow.
Like it was crazy. I'll just sit there and say it was crazy. How I always sit there and try to look at both sides. So like it was interesting. I
Yeah,
would sit there and say that much. So when I do get HBO Max, it is one of the things besides the comic book stuff I want to sit there and watch.
yeah,
Danny says if Jennifer really cared, she would be helping Thomas deal with this rather than put this all on Child's betrayal. Didn't you say something like that, Jonathan?
yeah. I did mention that. I did mention that instead that they should be going to therapy instead, because what Jennifer is doing, I know it's not like vicious or anything like that. She's basically acting on her emotions because she still hasn't fully processed the loss of Abigail, and maybe it's partly because they haven't found her body. So I think she hasn't fully like processed that, and I think part of the reason she wants to take the kids is because it'll be a sense of presence from Abigail. And so I think that's what it's really about. Like she's acting on emotion a little bit more, a little bit more than impulse. So, so I so I think what really needs to happen is she needs to go to therapy, and Thomas needs to go to therapy, and maybe Chad too, so they get work this out. That's why I think what really needs to happen.
Yeah. I'm not. Jennifer takes the kids will hurt them more than help them. It's very selfish. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's the thing that's really interesting, Jonathan. Like, I always, you know, some of these talks where we have always sit there. Like, I've always been like a huge thing about like therapy and just how important that is. So
Yeah,
you're 100% correct on that, Jonathan. You are. I
yeah,
just want you to understand, like, that's why I wasn't looking at Jennifer like she was this evil monster, like, because she's been acting like a can with the whole cat thing, and that's been annoying. But like, I understand, or I'm trying to understand, like, her point of view with the kids. So it's gonna be interesting next week for at
yeah.
least.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah. I get.
actually, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I don't think Jennifer is like some evil monster or anything like that. I just don't think she's being rational about the entire situation. I don't think Chad should lose his kids because he already lost his wife, and also the kids they lost their mother, and now they could potentially not have their father in their lives, and that wouldn't be good for them.
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I think we're going to end the stream here, but I will let you get the last word, Jonathan, of course.
of course. So join us next time for another edition of Soap Chat with Albert Bostic.
Thank you, Jonathan. Um, Jonathan, of course, as I always sit there and say, he is the Michael Baldwin to my Victor Newman. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. This was hella fun. If you're not a member, make sure you join. We're going to have a fun time this weekend, so definitely be a part of that. And again, Jonathan, thank you for coming through tonight. Always appreciate you. Of
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
course. And yeah, I will sit there and see everyone Wednesday. Wednesday. I'll see everyone Wednesday. Members, I'll sit there and see you tomorrow and Sunday.
And hit the like
Haters.
button.
Yes, hit that like button. Thank you.